I think every match you watch of 100T, we're looking better and better each match. And I'm really excited for the future for this year. I mean, yeah, the floor I think is higher, but I also think the ceiling is higher.
Hey guys, this is Pedro and I'm back with a brand new interview. This time again covering week 1 of the 2024 VCT Americas kickoff event. I'm here accompanied by Boostio, the IGL of 100 Thieves, who just came off of a disappointing loss to Leviatan 2-1 in their opening match of the entire competition. So Boostio, like I said before, thank you so much for taking the time. And I just want to start off by just covering your reaction to that loss to Leviatan. It was a very close match, all things considered. But what's your headspace right now, given the recent result?
Headspace, yeah, I think we played really well overall, to be honest, for this series. Of course, we made some pretty big mistakes in a couple of rounds that really cost us the match. But I think if anyone looked at that series, they didn't think it would be as close as it was or as like fun as it was, because it felt like a fun match from us, to be honest. I felt good in the server. And then overall, I've just been playing really well personally, so I've been really enjoying these matches. Just going in, having fun. Like I really haven't been feeling any pressure. It's just been just really fun to just represent 100T and to play with some new players, my teammates who I love. And I think every match you watch of 100T, we're looking better and better each match. And I'm really excited for the future for this year.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there was, given the fact that you guys were taking on a team such as Leviatan and how it's deemed as a super team, there was plenty of expectations about them doing well and doing so on the right foot. And yes, they did actually did that, starting off on the right foot with the W. But they actually had to fight for it against the teams such as yours, Busio. But
Mhm.
exactly how what were the kind of things that you and the rest of the team approached when it came to facing off against a team like Leviathan, and all the things that it showed to you guys considered?
I think just like the main things were just like we knew Aspas is like one of the best players in the world. So you always have to just keep an eye on him. And if you look at that bind series, if they didn't have Aspas and probably any other player in the world, they probably lost the bind match. He dropped like 33 in like 20 rounds or something. So just having a player like that is incredible. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world still, and so good for Leviathan. Um, but like I said, overall that series is really close. We really dominated on split, which was their map pick too. We were super confident on bind too. It just some like I said, some of the rounds just didn't go our way. We had like Aspas read our the first round we hit A, he sat top truck. Would I got an early gecko ult, and it just didn't matter. Like he just shit on like three of my teammates. So like
Yeah.
he just really won them that map one. And then for the rest of the series, um, a lot of the other Leviathan players stepped up too. That Icebox was a great match, and Tom stepped up, and it was just really fun overall. But for 100T at least, every match, like I said earlier, we're looking more and more confident. We're playing more as a team, and even though it kind of feels like early EG last year, I can tell we definitely have the aim, we definitely have the mechanics, and each match we're getting better and better. So it's really exciting for me. Like I'm not sad at all. Like losing, of course, stings. It sucks, but in like the big picture, I'm just excited. Even though right now I'm a little down.
Yeah, and you mentioned about Split and how, despite it being Leviathan's picked in the entire map pool for this match,
Mhm,
you guys dominated 13-3. Just it
mhm.
really did look like the team didn't have a chance. Speaking of Leviathan, what exactly made it happen in that fashion for you guys, and how much of a difference was it compared to like the first map in which, of course, you guys lost, but still, yeah. Well, what made
Mhm.
the difference for you in Split?
I think what made the difference was we were just like we weren't being scared. I think I'm fine. We were a little nervous. We weren't like taking our fights. Um, on defense, we weren't like re-clearing stuff or like getting really good info. We were kind of lazy on our holds. Like I think Aspas walked down two or three times and like killed one of us on like a lane, which was like he's on raise. He shouldn't be able to do that if we were like fiddling properly or like holding the info properly. But then if you look at split, our defense, dude, they would do like ramp control. They'd do like a mid control. We would instantly three go there, flash through, eye through, do something, and just fight them. and I think we were really proactive on our defense half on split, and it really just set us up for an easy attack half, which they couldn't stop either.
You played Gecko twice for this series,
Hmm.
and first time in Ukraine, which you played that agent in particular. And so, talk to me about your performance on that agent, singling out that agent in particular for you. You know, what exactly went right for you individual wise for you to pop off in that agent for a good portions of the entire series.
Yeah, like I said, dude, I don't know. I don't know if it's after winning champs. I don't think if it doesn't matter the character. I'm so unbelievably confident. I think I'm better than everyone else. Like just straight up like ego. Like it's good to have an ego as a pro player, to be honest, as long as you're not like a dickhead about it. Like I go into every server and I really do think I'm way better than everyone else. So I swing people with confidence. I'll hold angles with confidence. And the last like 4 series I have played, I've been playing like extraordinarily well. I'm still playing like I did on EG, where I'm entry, I'm running it down with like a judge. I'll jump out so my teammates can bait me, but I'm still getting frags when I need to, and it just feels I'm really happy with my performance. And to be honest, is Gecko's fun to play, but like I think like right now I'm so confident. On any agent, I think I'd do well.
Yeah, it's an echo of what you said about, your leadership of the team one of the few pre-event interviews
Mm,
during this broadcast and also before that. Yeah, it's been a point of emphasis, I feel, when it comes to looking at you lead the team as the IGO, just making sure everybody's in a position where everyone's confident, not just yourself.
mm,
And when it comes to doing that, how have you been able to translate that kind of confidence that you're envisioning for the team to the rest of your teammates, and how have you
mhm.
viewed that process?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to answer this question very well. I'm not very good at like I don't know. It's a hard question to answer. But I think just from my perspective as a person, I just try to be positive. I try to tell them what I'm thinking in a moment. If we like watch a VOD or do anything, I'm gonna try to tell them what I do. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. They can play how they want. Each player is different. That's why there is different players in Valorant. But I'm just gonna give them my perspective, the reason I did it, and if everything is failing, like just swing. Who cares? Just go through a smoke. Try to be aggressive. If you look like a noob, if you just dive like without getting traded, at least you're like trying to be proactive, or you're trying to like just like rise enemy team. I don't know. It's a little rough, but once you get really good at it, and I think all of the EG players ended up becoming so good at like knowing when you can be like aggressive and when you can't be like to the max. And I think the early stages of learning that is be aggressive all the time, and you'll see what punishes you. And so I just try to push, be aggressive. I as an IGL, if my team dies, if one of my teammates gets picked, I will never like complain or like bitch or say like why are you dying first? Like you shouldn't do that. I'm always gonna encourage them to be aggressive. Always encourage them to do what they want and how they want to play.
Yeah, it definitely does give the sense that this is a very a new version of 100 Thieves, but also in a way that there's a different vibe, but also in a different vibe in a positive way, and one that the potential is going to grow from here on there, despite the
Mhm,
loss to Leviatan. And on top of that, you mentioned about how there's been a difference in how the team starts out for this year, and how you view this team as having a lot of potential later on down the line, and how
mhm,
you compared it a little bit to how it was in EG. And of course, looking at EG from the previous season at this same point of the season, there was not much expectations, but still, of course, we all know how that turned out. But
mhm, mhm, mhm.
where do you see the current floor, or is the better way for me to say this is, do you feel that this team of 100 Thieves, this year's version of 100 Thieves, has a higher floor compared to that from what EG of last year was, in comparison to
Mm,
all that?
I mean, yeah, the floor I think is higher, but I also think the ceiling is higher. Like we can definitely reach even greater heights. I think like I mean I've talked about it before, but I think a prime EG versus a prime Fnatic, I think like 8 out of 10 times we would probably lose last year because they were just incredible. But my teammates now I feel like are some of the most mechanically gifted players I've ever seen. And when they really get comfortable in the pro setting, I think our ceiling could be higher than any team like ever created, to be honest. I think NRG probably feels the same way with their team. Because if you look at like well, but see, I still think my teammates are just better than some of those NRG players. But like if you look at their ceiling, like Marv, Demon One, Ethan, all their players, that team could beat Fnatic. And like in my head, when I think about Pro Valorant, I'm always, as long as it's Fnatic's the roster, that's always going to be the baseline for like top two. Like if you can perform against those five players, then you can beat any team in the world. And some teams will never be able to beat Fnatic. And I think this year, Fnatic's also going to go like 10-0 in like group stage or whatever of regular season, and they're going to go to Masters and get top four, top two, win it again. They're going to be very good. I think Energy and us are some of the best candidates to even rival that roster.
Yeah, and when it's said by a former or current reigning defending world champion IGO, who's to doubt you?
Mm-hmm.
One more question before we wrap it up. Of course, your next opponent being Sentinels. Of course, the usual classic match. 100 Thieves,
Mm-hmm.
Sentinels, all that stuff. Whatever happens happens. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be those two facing off against each other. But what are your thoughts, expectations? Against coming up against a team such as Sentinels, and what kind of things do they bring to the table that will square off against you guys?
I'm super excited because I love Life or Death. Um, like you watch LCQ, like it was life or death, and 100T did not make it last year. Sadly, Sentinels beat them. So now that I'm on the team, I think it's just so exciting to be able to get into a matchup like that where it is like the fans love it, super clouded, and it's life or death. Or we're out of Madrid if you don't make it. So it's like I think that's going to be like one of the best matches in like the next month, like until like a later Madrid match, even probably. There's so much on the line here, so I'm stoked for it because I love matches like that, and I love ruining people's expectations, and I can't wait to play.
And we certainly can't wait to watch you play Boostio. And
Thank
yeah,
you,
really appreciate you taking the time, just answering all of my questions, and also taking the time to doing this interview. Really appreciate
no
it.
problem.
Thank you so much, Boostio, for the time, and best of luck in the future, man.
Thank you, brother.